Rome. Not the Rome of crumbling ruins, visited by tourists, not the polished marble fantasy shown in movies, not the world of perfect senators delivering dramatic speeches beneath spotless columns. This is the real Rome. The year is 113 AD. The emperor is Trajan. The Roman Empire stretches from Britain to Mesopotamia, from the Rhine frontier to the deserts of North Africa. It has reached its greatest size, its greatest wealth, its greatest confidence. To the people living here, it feels as though Rome will last forever. But what was life actually like inside the largest city on earth? Not for an emperor, not for a senator, not for a military commander returning in triumph. What was it like for ordinary people? For merchants? For laborers? For travelers arriving at the gates with dust on their sandals and a few coins in their pockets? For the next 7 days, we are going to find out. We will walk the crowded streets. We will visit the markets that fed 1 million people. We will sit in the baths, watch gladiators fight, witness sacred rituals, and explore the neighborhoods where most Romans actually lived. This is not the story of emperors. This is the story of a city. A city so ambitious that its influence still shapes the modern world 2,000 years later. This is Rome at the height of its power. And this is what 7 days inside the Eternal City really looked like. Day 1. Your journey begins on the Via Appia, the queen of Roman roads. For hours, you have walked beneath the Italian sun. Dust clings to your clothes. Your feet ache from travel. Then, in the distance, Rome appears. Not gradually, not quietly. The city announces itself long before you reach its walls. The first signs are the tombs. Hundreds of them line the road. Marble monuments rise from the earth like miniature temples. Busts of long-dead Romans stare out at passing travelers. Many carry inscriptions asking strangers to stop and remember them. Even in death, Romans wanted an audience. As you move closer, warehouses and workshops begin to appear. The suburbs stretch outward beyond the city walls. Laborers haul cargo. Blacksmiths hammer metal. Merchants unload goods arriving from every corner of the empire. Then you pass through the southern gate. And suddenly, Rome surrounds you. The noise is overwhelming. Vendors shout prices from crowded stalls. Children recite lessons in the open air. Dogs bark. Workers argue. Languages from distant provinces blend together into a constant roar. Greek, Egyptian, Aramaic, Latin. Rome is not merely an Italian city. It is the center of an empire. The streets are surprisingly narrow. Towering above them stand massive apartment blocks called insulae. Some rise 6 or 7 stories high. Millions of bricks stacked toward the sky. They look impressive from below, but many are poorly built. Fires and collapses are common. You eventually find a room in the district known as the Subura. It is crowded, dirty, noisy, and affordable, at least by Roman standards. Your room contains little more than a bed, a table, and an oil lamp. There is no running water, no private toilet, no luxury whatsoever. Hungry after your journey, you head back into the street. Your first meal comes from a thermopolium, a Roman fast food counter built directly into the sidewalk. You order a simple meal of bread, lentils, and watered wine. Standing beside laborers, merchants, and travelers, you watch the endless flow of humanity moving through the streets. As night falls, the city refuses to sleep. Wagons begin rolling through the streets. Iron wheels grind against stone. Drivers shout into the darkness. The sounds echo through your apartment long after sunset. You lie awake, listening to the heartbeat of a city unlike any the world has ever seen. Tomorrow you will discover how Rome feeds itself, and how 1 million people survive inside the greatest metropolis of the ancient world. Day 2. Before sunrise, Rome is already awake. The city never truly sleeps. Bakers have been working since midnight. The smell of fresh bread drifts through the streets. For most Romans, bread is life. Every day, grain arrives from across the Mediterranean. Massive cargo ships unload wheat from Egypt and North Africa. Without those shipments, Rome would starve. The empire feeds its capital through an astonishing network of roads, ports, warehouses, and merchants. This morning, you are heading to one of the city's newest marvels, Trajan's Market. Built directly into the side of a hill, the complex rises across multiple levels. To modern eyes, it feels surprisingly familiar. Long corridors, rows of shops, crowded walkways. Some historians even call it the world's first shopping center. Everywhere you look, goods are being bought and sold. Olive oil from Spain, wine from Gaul, fine glass from Egypt, fish sauce from North Africa. The famous garum. Romans put it on nearly everything. The smell is powerful. The popularity is even greater. But the real surprises come from farther away. A merchant displays silk imported from China. Another sells pepper brought from India. Spices worth small fortunes sit in tiny containers. The journey these goods have taken is almost impossible to imagine. Thousands of miles, across deserts, mountains, and seas. Yet somehow they all arrive here. Rome stands at the center of a global trading system unlike anything the ancient world has ever seen. Money changes hands constantly. Deals are negotiated, prices argued over, fortunes made and lost. By afternoon, you reach Trajan's Forum. At its center rises Trajan's Column. Towering above the crowds, it tells the story of Rome's victories through hundreds of carved figures spiraling toward the sky. The marble is still bright and new. The emperor's achievements seem immortal. Standing beneath it, surrounded by wealth flowing in from every corner of the empire, Rome feels unstoppable. Tomorrow, however, you will witness another side of Roman power, one built not on trade, but on spectacle and blood. Day 3. By now, you have seen Rome's markets. You have walked its crowded streets. But there is one place every visitor eventually goes: the amphitheater, what future generations will call the Colosseum. Long before you see it, you hear it, a distant roar rolling across the city like thunder. As you approach, the structure dominates the skyline. 4 stories of stone arches rise above the surrounding streets. Nothing in the ancient world compares to it. Nearly 50,000 spectators can fit inside, and today most of them have arrived. The crowds stream through dozens of entrances with remarkable efficiency. Roman engineers designed the building so well that thousands of people can enter or leave within minutes. You climb toward the upper seating levels. The higher you sit, the lower your social status. The best seats belong to senators and nobles. Ordinary citizens sit farther away. Yet everyone can see the arena. Everyone can feel the excitement. The morning begins with animal hunts. The arena floor has been transformed into an artificial wilderness. Exotic creatures appear from hidden tunnels below. Wild boars, ostriches, leopards, even lions imported from North Africa. The crowd erupts with every appearance. To Romans, these animals represent the reach of imperial power. The farther away the creature comes from, the greater Rome appears. By midday, the mood changes. The entertainment becomes darker. Punishments are carried out before the crowd. Many spectators leave for food and conversation. Others remain. For them, justice is part of the spectacle. Then comes the event everyone has been waiting for: the gladiators. Contrary to popular belief, these are not merely victims thrown into combat. Most are highly trained professionals. They spend years learning specialized fighting style. Some are enslaved men. Some are prisoners of war. Others are free citizens seeking fame and fortune. The first fighters enter the arena. One carries a net and trident. The other wears heavy armor and a large shield. Their weapons are intentionally different. The crowd loves contrast. The lighter fighter moves quickly. The heavier fighter advances patiently. Every movement draws cheers from one section of the audience and groans from another. The fight feels less like chaos and more like a deadly sport. Referees watch closely. Rules are enforced. When one gladiator finally falls, 50,000 voices erupt at once. For a moment, the entire city seems united by a single emotion. Excitement. Suspense. Power. As the sun begins to set, the games come to an end. You leave with ringing ears and a mind full of questions. Rome entertains on a scale no civilization has ever attempted before. But tomorrow, you will discover another side of Roman greatness. Not violence, not spectacle, but engineering. The water, stone, and technology that keep a city of 1 million people alive. Day 4. After witnessing the spectacle of the amphitheater, you decide to spend the day somewhere every Roman understands: the baths. To modern visitors, a public bath may sound simple. To Romans, it is the center of daily life. As you approach the baths of Trajan, the scale becomes immediately apparent. The complex spreads across an enormous area of the city. Gardens surround the buildings. Marble statues stand among walkways and fountains. Thousands of people pass through the gates every day, rich and poor alike. The entrance fee is so small that almost anyone can afford it. This is one of Rome's greatest achievements: luxury made available to ordinary citizens. Inside, the atmosphere is alive with conversation. Merchants discuss business deals. Politicians exchange rumors. Friends laugh together after a long day's work. The baths are not simply for cleaning the body. They are where Roman society gathers. Your visit begins in the exercise yard. Men wrestle, others throw balls or lift weights. After exercising, you scrape sweat and oil from your skin using a curved metal tool called a strigil. Then you move into the warm rooms. The air grows humid. The marble floors feel warm beneath your feet. Finally, you enter the hot bath. Steam rises toward the vaulted ceiling. The water relaxes muscles tired from days of walking. Yet the true marvel lies beneath the floor. Hidden from sight is the hypocaust system, a network of furnaces and chambers that circulates hot air beneath the building. It is central heating on a scale the ancient world had never seen, and it works astonishingly well. After the hot bath comes the cold plunge. The water is shockingly cold. Fed directly from Rome's aqueducts, Those aqueducts are among the greatest engineering projects ever built. For centuries, they have carried fresh water from distant hills into the city, day and night, without pumps, without electricity, using only gravity and extraordinary precision. By the afternoon, you wander through the gardens and library. You listen to philosophers debate ideas beneath shaded porticos. You watch friends gather to talk about politics, sports, and life. Slowly, you realize something important. Rome's greatness is not built only on conquest. It is built on infrastructure. On roads, water, public spaces, and an extraordinary belief that a city of 1 million people can function as a single organism. Tomorrow you will discover the beliefs that hold Roman society together. Its gods, its rituals, and the mysteries hidden beneath the surface of everyday life. Day 5. By now, you have seen Rome's wealth, its markets, its monuments, its engineering wonders. But there is still something you do not fully understand. The people themselves. What do Romans believe? What gives meaning to their lives? Religion is everywhere in Rome, yet it feels very different from modern faiths. For most Romans, religion is practical, a relationship built on exchange, a bargain between mortals and gods. If Jupiter protects your family, you owe him thanks. If Mars grants victory, you owe him offerings. The principle is simple. I give so that you may give. You spend the morning visiting temples. Priests move through sacred spaces, performing rituals that have existed for centuries. Smoke rises from altars. Crowds gather to witness sacrifices. Public religion is woven into everyday life. Politics and faith are often impossible to separate. But beneath the official ceremonies lies another world. A world of mystery cults and secret gatherings. Some Romans worship Isis from Egypt. Others follow Mithras, a god popular among soldiers and merchants. These religions promise something more personal, a deeper connection, a greater purpose. For many people, that promise is irresistible. Day 6. Today you leave the grand monuments behind. You want to see the Rome that most people actually experience. The Rome hidden behind marble facades. The Rome of workers, families, and crowded neighborhoods. You return to the Subura, the district where you've been staying since arriving in the city. In many ways, this is the real Rome. The streets are packed from dawn until night. Shopkeepers open their doors. Bakers prepare fresh loaves. Metalworkers shape tools and household goods. The smells are impossible to ignore. Fresh bread, cooking oil, animals, smoke, and sometimes things far less pleasant.
Try to hold the feeling.
Rome is magnificent, but it is not clean. The apartment buildings loom overhead. Families crowd into small rooms. The higher the floor, the cheaper the rent, and the greater the danger. Fire is a constant fear. One accident can consume an entire block. The city employs watchmen and firefighters, yet fires remain one of Rome's greatest threats. As you wander deeper into the neighborhood, you discover another familiar sight. Graffiti. Everywhere. Political messages. Advertisements. Jokes. Declarations of love. Complaints about neighbors. The walls speak constantly. In some ways, they resemble modern social media. Ordinary people leaving traces of themselves behind. As evening approaches, the atmosphere changes. Shadows stretch across the narrow streets. Many respectable citizens hurry home. Rome after dark can be dangerous. There are few lights, few protections. Thieves look for opportunities. Arguments sometimes become violent. You eat a simple dinner: bread, cheese, olives. Nothing luxurious. Just another ordinary evening in a city of 1 million people. Tomorrow will be your final day in Rome. And before you leave, you will stand at the very heart of the empire itself. Day 7. Your final morning in Rome arrives. The city is already awake, just as it was on the day you arrived. The streets are crowded, the markets are busy. The noise never stops. Before leaving, you make one final visit: the Forum Romanum, the political and symbolic heart of the empire. Here, senators debate, magistrates govern, merchants negotiate, and ordinary citizens gather beneath monuments that seem destined to last forever. Standing among the crowds, it is easy to understand why Romans call their city eternal. Everything around you projects confidence, power, permanence. Yet history tells a different story. Centuries from now, invaders will enter these streets. The aqueducts will fail. Many temples will disappear. The empire itself will fade into history. But Rome's influence will not. Its roads inspired nations. Its laws shaped governments. Its engineering changed cities forever. Even today, 2,000 years later, we still live in a world touched by Roman ideas. That may be Rome's greatest achievement. Not that it conquered the ancient world, but that long after its empire vanished, its legacy endured. And perhaps that is why Rome still feels alive. Still speaking. Still reminding us that every great civilization believes it is permanent, until history decides otherwise. Thank you for joining this journey through ancient Rome. And until next time, we'll see you in the past.